Alright, welcome back boys. Today we're going to be checking out the Terayacht, an $8 billion engineering disaster. Now, I don't know anything about yachts or engineering, but I know everything about disasters. Just look at my YouTube channel. Anyway, this is by Adam something and let's get right into it.
Pangeos is an $8 billion, 650-meter wide, 600-meter long Terayacht.
Holy shit. Who needs this much space? Like, why?
A gigastructure, or I guess terastructure, capable of hosting an entire city. Not long ago, this thing was all over the internet.
Yeah, I had seen like a bunch of concept images about it a while ago. I'm sure everyone did. It's like those supercar concept images that people had seen, but it's clearly very unfeasible. It's kind of similar to the line that Dubai is trying to make right now. So it's just a lot of hopes and dreams.
Getting caught up in a full 72-hour hype cycle. But this project, aside from being hilariously stupid on pretty much every level, as we'll see...
Yeah, like wouldn't it be really hard for this thing to move with this kind of structure? Like this would just be catching all the waves, making it go way slower, and it'll also be like pretty brittle around here, I'd imagine it is.
On pretty much every level, as we'll see, also represents something quite sinister. So the Pangeos Terayacht is a yacht/floating city. As long as under city we mean like 500 people or something. And it's shaped like a turtle.
Yeah, just for the rich people and their servants, don't worry guys.
Why? No idea. It's essentially a big floating park surrounded by luxury residences, because that's what you want on a ship. Parks containing hundreds of tons of soil. Also, planting trees into your ship's hull, that's an idea worthy of an award. A Darwin Award. The inside of the ship and the flippers, I guess, are filled with villas and apartment buildings that look suspiciously like the ones in Surviving Mars. I actually have to commend the Pangeos team. They blessed us with a metric ton of sketches and CGI visualizations so we can...
I feel like the people behind this just threw a bunch of money at artists and then talked to engineers, and the engineers had like an actual seizure just thinking about this.
Really take a good look at what this project entails. Oh boy. As I was looking at these visualizations, things got weird pretty quickly. Let's start with how they plan on building this thing. Indeed, how will this thing be built? It's quite a conundrum, but don't you worry, the Pangeos team has you covered. We can build it. Imagine to join together the world's biggest yacht firms in an unique project. Wow, look at all these companies taking part in it. None of the below brands are now involved yet in the project. Oh, that...
I'm telling you, it's seriously just hopes and dreams.
It's unfortunate. On their website, they have...
Because that's exactly what you need to run a yacht, hopes and dreams. Yeah, that'll keep all 500 people safe.
These bizarre renders of a dry dock in the middle of the sea? No, that can't be right. We're missing something. Let's see what they have to say about it. The building process. 1. Dredging 1 square kilometer of sea by building a circular dam. 2. Once dried, the terrain...
They would have to do that in like a really shallow place, because if they do that in any sort of deep place, they'd have to go down like kilometers and kilometers.
Will possible to start preparing the basement area? Great, so they actually want to build this thing in the sea, like right in the sea. I thought this render was just some concept art, but apparently no. They seriously want to dredge a square kilometer of sea and then build a circular 3.5 kilometer long dam around it.
Why? But why? Like, people would probably come check this out, like, oh, it's a cool idea, and then no one's gonna want to stay on this thing. They're not gonna make any money, especially the amount it's gonna cost to build this and then to build the dry dock, and then, oh my god. No, not even mention maintenance. Like, imagine something breaks on this.
Then wait for the seafloor to dry out and then build the yacht inside the circle they've created, in the sea. At this point, the Pangeos team was likely thinking, what country would be willing to even entertain the idea of building this thing near their shores?
Okay, let me guess. The US would probably be up there. That's really the only one I can think of right now.
It's a tough question. They would need a country run by complete morons who, by some miracle, also have more money than God.
Oh, maybe the UAE?
Saudi Arabia, alright.
Hey!
Hang on, this is a different thing now. Did we drop the at sea circular dry dock plan? Apparently so. I love it when multi-billion-dollar megaprojects show us contradictory plans on the same webpage. The construction of a similar sizes vessel, involves the realization of a specific shipyard/dam infrastructure that floods levitating the Terayacht when it will be launched Est 2033. Well, that was a sentence. So now they want to dig out a 600 by 600...
So we're still like, 7 years away and no construction has happened. Again, this is the exact same thing that happened with the line. Like, they've been talking about it for years and years and years, and I think they only just started construction, if that.
150-meter dry dock on...
I heard they have started construction, that's why I'm saying it.
Land, and then concreted? So that would involve a 39-hectare concrete surface, and that would be separated from the sea by a 650-meter long dam. All this for a single-use dry dock to build one single ship. Fuck yeah. Economics? What's that, a new cryptocurrency? Never heard of it. So that's where the Pangeos Terayacht will be built. Hang on, are those cranes made of Lego? Oh no, they pulled a 3D model of a crane from somewhere, but they didn't realize it was a toy crane. Look, they even have plastic dials on them that you're supposed to turn with your hand to operate the mechanism. Hell...
Okay, maybe what I was saying earlier isn't exactly true. I don't think they threw much, if any, money at these artists.
Yeah, we want to build this 8...
at least it's not AI generated, but I think this was... the whole idea came up before... generative models became popular.
$billion mega yacht, but we can't quite tell the difference between a real crane and one made of Lego. Oh look, there's a golf cart there.
I suppose, like, wouldn't they also have to have, like, quality assurance? At least one guy just take a look at it.
At an active construction zone. It's from their other renders of the finished yacht, which they forgot to delete here. Also, I love how the scaffolding around the ship isn't connected by any ladders or stairs for the workers to use.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of planks.
Cool. God, there is so much stupid stuff to go over. I almost went crazy collecting them all together.
On the right side's door stuck.
Look at all these damn tabs. Can someone help me? Oh, hello, strange Norwegian man. What's...
Oh, Opera, my goat. Even though I don't use it, but, if they're watching, they should sponsor me, and I'll, like, absolutely take it. And you should use this guy's link down in his video description to get Opera and stuff. And a little bit of confession I have. I'm kind of a tab hoarder. You don't see it right now because, I'm got it all cleaned up for the video, but I may or may not have roughly 500 tabs open right now. Maybe.
Fish. That reminds me, we have an aquatic monstrosity to discuss. So the Pangeos Terayacht's proposed construction. On the construction site, there are these random boxes lying around, which are apparently cement silos. What, do they want to build the Terayacht out of concrete? Apparently so. The roads inside the Terayacht do seem to be made out of concrete. Yeah, really concrete. Heavy? Famously useful shipbuilding material for a ship that's definitely shaped for moving around on water. It goes without saying, but such a large and heavy structure would break immediately during the first storm it encounters. Also, they plan on propelling...
I completely forgot about storms earlier. I was just thinking about flat water, like how it's shown here, but even then that would be difficult. This would need a fucking hyperdrive to move.
They plan on propelling this thing with what appear to be large jet ski engines that have no visible water intake. So this mega project so far has to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. If our currency was backed up by idiocy, the Pangeos Terayacht would cause instant global hyperinflation. Let's look at what they're planning to put on this thing. As I said, it looks like they want to put concrete roads inside their ship.
I love this guy's background music. It goes from like I think that's Zelda to now this royalty-free music, and earlier he had some more just classically overused stuff. I actually love it.
On which they would run little golf carts, because literally everything being a 600-meter walk away from you is just too much to handle. And apparently every villa will have its...
Yeah, this is like... to give it one benefit, this is like the perfect walkable city. And yet they're still driving. Like, just walk, it's not that fucking far away.
Own little golf cart. So, congratulations, you've created floating suburbs. In front of your suburban villas at sea, you'll have these narrow pools, so you'll have something to fall into at 3 a.m. on your way back from a party. In these...
Yeah, that's like not... This is not a lot of space. You could probably walk with maybe 4 people, but 5 people, someone's gonna have to get their slippers wet or drag behind. Like, if this is supposed to be... I mean, this is, like, supposed to be the height of luxury. Absolutely the height. This is fucking horrible. If I had all the money in the world, I would still not come here. if it existed.
These pools, you'll be able to do SUP or stand-up paddle, and also kayaking apparently. It will be a ton of fun.
Yeah, instead of like, oh, I don't know, going fucking 30 meters to the left.
Until you reach the end of the pool after like 4 seconds of paddling, which is too narrow for turning around. Also, should a larger wave tilt the Terayacht to the side a bit, these pools would spill over and flood the ground floor of every villa. You might have noticed that most of these residences and apartments are in the high luxury category. That's because this project is essentially a floating retreat for the ultra-rich, much like how Elon Musk's Mars colony would be just an extraplanetary doomsday bunker for the top 1%.
I swear to God, if we start taking over other planets and we make them the same, like, shithole cyberpunk dystopia that Earth is becoming, like, we don't need more New York cities, I'm sorry, but, like, what would be amazing for Mars and stuff would be, absolute just solar punk, like, try to cover the whole planet in plants and eventually, and, like, biodomes and shit like that. It would be cool, it'd be cool. And it'd definitely be better than anything this guy has planned.
Pangeos even sports a royal palace, if you can believe it.
And when I say that, I mean like a more naturalistic kind of plants everywhere in the biodomes.
We'll get to that later. The website promises Pangeos will house 60,000 guests, so that's just the guests, not including staff or the long-term residents of the yacht. Because yes, they actually plan on having people live on this thing. And I'm calling bullshit on that 60,000 figure. This is what a 60,000 guest capacity looks like. That's the MHP Arena in Stuttgart, which coincidentally is about as big as the Terayacht's main body. So if we assume that on the Pangeos Terayacht they want to put people in hotel rooms instead of shoving them in like sardines, that means instead of 60,000, Pangeos will probably be able to house a couple hundred guests.
Yeah, like 60,000 in that, everyone would get maybe a meter to themselves.
If that. The current largest cruise ship in the world, the Icon of the Seas, with its length of 364 meters, can accommodate 7,600 at the absolute maximum. And that ship is absolutely jam-packed with little cabins. On the Pangeos Terayacht, you have these big and spacious villas and a handful of cabins on 5 floors. So this thing will not accommodate 60,000, 7,600, or even 1,000 guests.
Also, why would you try to make just like a normal house in something like this? Like, excuse me, what would be amazing is to have like a view into the ocean itself, like having the floor be it or like one of the walls be it, but this is literally just apartments, but you have seasickness.
Just a few hundred guests maybe, but those guests won't be nobodies, because apparently dozens will arrive by helicopter parked chaotically on the roof of the Terayacht, without any marked helipad. So that's reassuring. If one of them slides down the roof, it will crash right into the villas below. And those trendy little balconies inside the wall will be a lot of fun to be on once a helicopter comes around. And
did that kill a bird? Was that a bird on the floor?
Apparently, they plan on landing helicopters inside the ship's structure too, on that tiny building.
Wouldn't the, like, rotors get caught by the house? I mean, I don't know why I'm trying to make sense of this. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear the bike in the background. It's just, like, small dick people running around making as much noise as possible. Anyway, I don't know why I'm trying to make sense of this fucking monstrosity, like, nothing here makes sense. The helipads are like the least of the concern here.
A meter away from a house. In their promotional video, you can actually see that the helicopter's rotors would clip off part of the house. Not to mention, if those windows are open during landing, that whole apartment would be wrecked. Wait, how come there is a landing pad on this building, but not on that one? Wait, there it is. So apparently they just forgot to draw the other helipad for an $8 billion project. Putting 2 helipads in this area is an outstanding idea.
Especially like right next to a tennis court.
Meters away from residential villas. The transit concept of the Terayacht is absolutely bonkers. Helipads in front of your window, helicopters scattered on the roof, drift circuits for golf carts to tumble down.
There's no like guard railing there at all. You slip once, you're gone. You're gonna get crushed by the ship itself. And some people don't realize what happens when a ship goes over you. It doesn't like just push you down and then you'll like come back out the other side. No, you get squashed between the entire weight of the ocean and the entire weight of the ship. You will get turned into like a fine red mist. You'll get turned into like jam.
Break the window below and then roll into the ocean. Oh, and a Fiat 500, ready for your 10-second commute in the morning. Oh, and do you like swimming, bathing, the feeling of water enveloping your body? On the
She's dead.
World's largest cruise ship, the Icon of the Seas, you can experience all that in 7 different pools. That's a lot, right? Now try the Pangeos Terayacht's 150 pools.
But why? But why the ocean is like 5 feet away from you? If you fall in, you'll go in the ocean.
And those are just the ones I could count on.
Also, why is there another mega yacht? Not a Terayacht, another mega yacht, like being its security guard, its chauffeur.
The renders. There might be more on the inside. These pools are literally everywhere, including in this random, dark corner at the front of the ship. What is this? The punishment zone? The goon deck? The inside of the ship also raises some worry.
Okay, if there's 150 pools, what kind of terrible sin would you have to commit to go into this little, 5 foot by 10 foot pool? My god.
Yeah. What is this? The punishment zone? The goon deck? The inside of the ship?
Well, some people into that, especially rich people. I'm just saying this.
Also raises some worrying questions. Apparently, the water in the middle of the ship is not the ocean, but another pool that looks about 50 centimeters deep. If you sail a ship in there, you'll have scratched up the ceiling of the power room, so now your ship is out of power and filling up with water. Also, the crew will go into one of these windowless rectangular pods inside the hull, so that's promising.
Yeah, it's okay. They're not human anyway. You don't have to treat them with any sort of dignity. If you're ultra rich, everyone's just there to serve you. And you should like and subscribe to help me become one of them.
Civilization
I could never become one of them.
Collapse in a climate catastrophe, rest assured that the hundreds of billionaires inhabiting Pangeos will be just fine, and their ship will have enough capacity to resurrect the transatlantic slave trade in the post-apocalypse. Up to 60,000 accommodations, you say? That can satisfy the demand of a lot of plantations. Because really, who do you think would consider buying property on this thing? Rich people who think the world is coming to an end. The sea levels rising isn't a problem as long as you're floating on it. If this project would ever become a reality for some reason, it would immediately become a doomsday bunker for the top 1%. Yeah, that explains all
Yeah, I suppose that does make sense. Oh.
those yachts all around and those helicopters everywhere. You think you'll be flying in those? Be my guest for $500 per hour in your average 4-seater. No, there would be no regular people on this thing. Nobody below a 7-figure net worth. To recap, so far we have seen a dry dock build.
I'll be honest, 7 figures seems kind of generous. This thing would cost so much money just to have a room, just buy some property there. That would be millions of dollars. Millions, at least. Tens of millions.
In the sea, with cranes made of Lego, a massive ship covered by suburban villas, concrete roads, 150 pools, and bearing hundreds of tons of soil for its parks. And they say it will accommodate 60,000 guests beyond the inhabitants and staff. Plus there is a single...
Did they do any math on this? At all?
Fiat 500 on board. At this point, you might be thinking, there's no goddamn way this can get any dumber. But you just wait. You just wait. Oh, but what is this? Unreal Estate. Welcome to Pangeos Unreal Estate. The Unreal Estate is a NFT crowdfunding project. By paying in cryptocurrency, it is possible to purchase virtually the selected space. This will generate an initial budget to step into a more sophisticated augmented reality, the Pangeos Metaverse 2023. Selected space, will be available in the virtual scenario as your private room with your own access key. Hell yeah! Apartment VIP, a low-resolution shitty render for just 0.2 Ethereum, also known as $461.08.
What's crazy about this is the person who came up with this absolute nut job of an idea probably actually made a profit. I don't think those artists were really paid a lot. I don't think any engineers were involved in this. And, I mean, I'm sure, the Saudi government probably gave him a fair bit of money for the idea. Maybe, if he sold it or if it's just, a partner thing, I don't know. I'm sure some dumbass spent 1 or 2 Ethereum trying to get a digital apartment.
Royal Palace for $2,305. I knew this was a doomsday bunker for the rich. Oh no. This project is incredible. They have managed to speedrun the bullshit bingo with Mach speed. You got a horrible project for the top 1% with insane specs, completely nonsensical renders that break the laws of physics, hilarious mistakes and contradictions on proud display, and they also peddle NFTs and offer passes to the metaverse. Not gonna lie, it's pretty bold to pull out the NFT card 2 years after Dan Olson published his video about NFTs. In summary, this has to be one of the stupidest, most
If you want, let me know down in the comments. I'll react to those videos as well. They seem interesting.
Barely thought out project I've seen in a while. Nothing makes sense about this train wreck whatsoever. And yet, at one point, this thing was all over the internet. Apparently, all you need to get your 3-day fame in the global tech soy cycle is to put out some big fuck-off render that looks vaguely impressive and futuristic if you don't look at it for more than 5 seconds. But I did, unfortunately, and so here we are. Thank you for watching, and don't forget that Opera is out there.
Goated videos by Adam something. His link's gonna be down in the description. Original video is gonna be down there. I'm glad you enjoyed because you made it to the end of this video, so you should like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.